The forest was quiet. 12-year-old Samuel held his breath. He could hear the crunch of leaves under boots, British soldiers. Samuel stayed still, hidden behind a tree. His family lived near the edge of the forest in Pennsylvania. His father was a farmer, but he also carried a musket. There was talk of war. Samuel had heard it for months now. The British and the French were fighting, native groups were choosing sides, and people like Samuel's family were caught in the middle. One morning, Samuel's father left with other men to join the British Army. He didn't come back for weeks. Samuel helped his mother with chores and watched the road every day, hoping to see him return. The war was coming closer. Smoke from faraway battles sometimes rose in the sky. Samuel didn't understand everything about the war, but he knew this. Life was changing. The French and Indian War began in 1754. It was a fight between two big European countries, Britain and France. Both countries wanted to control land in North America. They were fighting over who would own the Ohio River Valley. This land was rich and good for trade. Both the British and the French wanted it, but they were not the only people living there. Many Native American tribes lived on that land. Tribes like the Huron, Algonquin, and Iroquois had been there for many years. They hunted, farmed, and traveled the rivers. When the French and British came, the native tribes had to make choices. Some joined the French, others joined the British. Some tried to stay out of the fight. The war did not start with big armies. It started with a small battle. A young British officer named George Washington led a group of soldiers to push the French out of the Ohio Valley. He built a small fort called Fort Necessity, but the French attacked it and won. That was the beginning of the war. Over the next few years, fighting spread. The British and French attacked each other's forts. They burned villages. They fought in forests, rivers, and open fields. The British had more colonists, but the French had strong support from native allies. The fighting was not easy for either side. In 1755, British General Edward Braddock tried to take Fort Duquesne. This was a strong French fort in what is now Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. George Washington was with him, but the French and their native allies surprised them in the forest. Braddock was killed. Many British soldiers died. It was a big loss. The war got worse. Many colonists were scared. Farms were burned. Families like Samuel's had to leave their homes. People were taken captive. Some were never seen again. Others lived with native tribes for years before coming back. The war changed many lives, but by 1757, things started to change. Britain sent more troops and a new leader, William Pitt. He gave money and support to the colonies. He made better plans. British forces began to win battles. They captured Fort Duquesne and renamed it Fort Pitt. This would later become the city of Pittsburgh. In 1759, the British made their biggest attack. They went after Quebec, a strong French city in Canada. British General James Wolfe led the attack. It was not easy. The city sat on high cliffs, but the British climbed the cliffs at night and surprised the French. They won the Battle of Quebec. Both General Wolfe and the French leader, General Montcalm, died in the battle. This was a turning point. After that, the French lost more ground. In 1760, the British took Montreal. The fighting in North America mostly ended. The war officially ended in 1763 with the Treaty of Paris. In the treaty, France gave up most of its land in North America. Britain got Canada and all the land east of the Mississippi River. Spain, which had helped France, gave Florida to Britain. In return, Spain got land west of the Mississippi. This war had big results. Britain now controlled much more land, but the war had cost a lot of money. To pay for it, Britain raised taxes on the colonists. Many colonists were angry. They had helped fight the war, but now they had to pay more money. This anger would grow and lead to the American Revolution. The war also changed life for Native Americans. Many had fought for the French. When the French lost, the British took over their land. The British did not treat native tribes the same way. They didn't trade fairly or show respect. In 1763, a native leader named Pontiac led a rebellion. Native tribes attacked British forts. They wanted to stop British settlers from taking more land. The British stopped the rebellion, but fighting between settlers and native people continued for many years. The French and Indian War was part of a bigger conflict happening around the world. In Europe, it was called the 7 Years' War. But in North America, it had a special name because of who fought. The British were fighting against the French and many Native American groups. That's why it is called the French and Indian War. This war changed North America. It made Britain the strongest power on the continent, but it also led to new problems. Colonists wanted more freedom. Native tribes wanted to protect their land. The French and Indian War was the beginning of a long road to a new nation.